Dr. Anthony Fauci speaks to USC students about the rate of COVID cases and what it means for our community going forward.
President Biden could reshape the outcome of the midterm elections. Find out why one political expert believes this will happen.
And USC film students are talking about the up-and-coming Black Panther movie. We'll take a sneak peek.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Tonight, LA County reports slightly more than 1,100 new COVID cases. Hi, I'm Daniel Dana.
And I'm Tracy Wang. Today, Dr. Anthony Fauci spoke to the USC community about how cases are declining, but that COVID is not over yet.
You look at where we are now with the number of cases, hospitalizations, and deaths compared to several months ago, we're not at that point now. We're at much, much lower. But it is still at a level that I have been very public about saying that I'm not comfortable with, having 300 to 400 deaths per day. So although we can feel good that we're going in the right direction, we can't let our guard down.
While cases may be declining around the country, Dr. Fauci anticipates another variant to emerge in the future and says we're not quite out of the woods just yet.
Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon today announced the arrest of the CEO of a company that provides software for LA County poll workers. The CEO is accused of stealing their personal information.
The contract very clearly stated that the information must reside in service in the United States. This agreement is signed by the contractor in this case. And at this point, we have reason to believe that that information is not within the boundaries of the United States.
Now, Gascon said Conic Corporation's alleged actions have not changed voting results, and the investigation was focused on ensuring security in all aspects of the election. The company has a $2.9 million contract with Los Angeles County to provide software for managing the area's election poll workers. CEO Eugene Yu and his company had previously been the targets of an election-denying group that was the first to accuse Yu of storing critical information on China.
Parents of a local LA youth soccer team were sent an email yesterday to attend a club meeting at Cathedral High School, but were surprised once they arrived. Instead of an ordinary team meeting, it turned out to be a promotional event for LA mayoral candidate Rick Caruso. Many parents felt Los Angeles United Football Academy was out of line and misrepresented the event. Caruso staffers handed out flyers saying Latinos for Rick Caruso, and photographers took pictures. One parent tweeted out saying the club, quote, overstepped its bounds and owes parents an apology. Another tweet said, quote, whoever decided to not be truthful with the parents made a mistake. President of the soccer team, former city attorney Rocky Delgadillo, provided a statement to Annenberg Media saying, we at the Los Angeles United Football Academy encourage community and civic engagement. This was an informational event. This was optional, and we would do the same for any candidate. Annenberg Media reached out to Rick Caruso's campaign team for a comment. A representative responded saying, quote, the event was organized by Rocky Delgadillo and to reach out to him for information.
And in case there were any doubts, President Joe Biden told Reverend Al Sharpton he will run for president in 2024. USC's director of the Center for the Political Future says the news should not come as a shock to anyone.
I think Joe Biden would beat Donald Trump again and would beat him by more if Trump were the Republican nominee. And it looks like that would be very likely. Now, we'll see what happens in the next 2 years after the midterm elections, because if Republicans take the House, for example, they're going to try to prevent him from doing anything.
If Biden decides not to run, he would be the first president to forego a second term since Lyndon Johnson in 1968.
Former President Donald Trump is suing CNN for defamation. He's demanding hundreds of millions for suffering, quote, embarrassment, pain, humiliation, and mental anguish. This isn't the first time Trump has gone after news organizations. In 2020, he sued the New York Times over opinion pieces about Russian interference in the election. That case was dismissed. A similar case against the Washington Post is pending. A USC journalism professor predicts that Trump will not win the case against CNN.
You have to look at this not so much as what the law is, but who the parties are. A news organization doesn't have a lot of money. This could have some effect, because if you write a story about Donald Trump that he doesn't like, not necessarily untrue, but he doesn't like, it's It's going to sue you. The Orthodox organizations, it's not going to affect them at all. I mean, they know who they're dealing with. They know that if they write about Trump, Trump's going to sue them. They also know they're going to win.
Trump is seeking $475 million in punitive damages. He says CNN harmed his reputation with the term, quote, big lie. In a statement, Trump hinted that he might be filing similar suits against other news outlets. Some worry that this Supreme Court might revisit the landmark New York Times v. Sullivan case. The 1964 decision makes it hard for public officials to sue for defamation.
California is experiencing the driest 3 years in state history. Conditions aren't improving, and as the year progresses, the drought seems likely to remain. While the entire state is affected by the drought, the Central Valley is impacted the most. This region is currently labeled with exceptional drought, which is the highest intensity measured. With temperatures rising, water shortages persist across the state. Governor Gavin Newsom continues to advise residents to conserve water and refrain from watering lawns. As dry conditions persist, a UC Davis professor tells us that there is still hope.
Not for sure that we will have a fourth dry year. It's something we should definitely prepare for. It's likely enough that we should prepare for it, but there's still a fair chance it could be wet. At this time of year, we really can't forecast very accurately how wet this coming year is going to be.
Long-range forecasts suggest that warmer and drier than average conditions will continue, and officials warn that a fourth year of drought is likely.
Jews around the world and here at USC are observing the Yom Kippur holiday starting at sundown tonight. Yom Kippur is considered the holiest day in Judaism and involves a full day of prayer and fasting. It's known as a Day of Atonement, and Jews are encouraged to ask for forgiveness of their sins.
Well, tomorrow is Yom Kippur, and it's a way for Jewish people to reflect on the bad things that they've done in the past year, and we're going to be fasting the entire day, which is sort of to practice discipline and show ourselves that we can use that discipline to be better. And USC has done a fantastic job of connecting us and keeping us, comfortable and involved.
The USC Hilo Center will be open all day tomorrow for services. The breakfast meal will be served at 7:15 p.m. If you are looking for mental health resources at USC, we talked to a club head for mental well-being that provides support.
There is such a thing as a free lunch. Find out where you can get yours here on campus.
Fans are remembering Queen of Country Loretta Lynn. We take a look back at her legendary career.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write him a text or knit him a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write him a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Country music star Loretta Lynn passed away this morning. Her family announced in a statement the 90-year-old died peacefully in her sleep at her ranch in Tennessee.
Mommy rocked the babies at night and read the Bible.
The coal miners singer had a long career in country music. She was the first female country music star to write a #1 hit and is the most awarded female country recording artist. A USC student appreciates the artist's influence on music.
I actually just found out about it today, but it's really sad. I know she had like a very long country music career, so it seems like a loss to the community, but you know, she was 90, so I'm glad she had such an influential career.
Former President Barack Obama awarded Lynn the Presidential Medal of Freedom back in 2013. Obama said, quote, "She gave voice to a generation, singing what no one wanted to talk about and saying what no one wanted to think about." Country music stars like Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood, Dolly Parton, Casey Musgraves, and many more paid tribute to Lynn's impact on the country music industry. Lynn is survived by her 4 children. Now, Critfee, we need some positive news. Give us some tips on how to better our mental health.
Of course, Daniel, thank you so much. More than 60% of college students are still living with mental health disorders. That's according to Fortune. As part of Mental Illness Awareness Week, we're offering Trojans some guidance and support. USC quarterback Caleb Williams has been a mental health champion for students. He tells them that what makes them different is their superpower. His foundation, Caleb Cares, is focused on anti-bullying and youth empowerment, and he is not alone. Safiya Zaman is a junior at Annenberg and also the founder of the Happy Hour. That's a student organization designed to improve the mental health, safety, and well-being of all Trojans.
Just had seen so many people firsthand struggle and sort of shy away from getting the help that they need and deserve. I personally wanted to sort of start and make impact on campus at USC. Some people also struggle to just get access or they didn't know how. What the Happy Hour, my student organization, does is we sort of provide a very casual setting for students to meet, and we have guest speakers who just educate. And besides that, we just do de-stress activities. I think it's a really wonderful way to bring the community together because I think an emphasis on community helps with people's mental health.
You can sign up for one-on-one therapy sessions at the USC Health Center and practice meditation with Mindful. If you are concerned about any of your friends or peers, you can write an anonymous letter to Trojans Care for Trojans. Sometimes taking the first step is the hardest. So to everyone struggling, remember you are not alone. Check up on your friends and yourselves as we continue to fight on.
USC continues to celebrate its Green Week with a free vegan meal for students today. The Jubilee Cafe offered Trojans free food sustainably. The Vegan Cafe is located at the University Religious Center, and they offer free vegan and vegetarian meals every Tuesday. These meals are sponsored by the Progressive Christians of USC, Vegans of LA, and the USC Office of Religious and Spiritual Life. Dedicated chefs specializing in vegan cooking prep for over 100 vegan lunchboxes for students each week.
We have a vegan banh mi sandwich with some chips and some pickles.
I like to put chips in the sandwich for like the elevated flavor.
We are seeing more and more of vegan and vegetarian students coming, so then we're doing half and half. So when we're coming out of the pandemic, we started thinking about what can we do and how can we make sure that this vegan and plant-based eating and healthy lifestyle can be promoted.
This is like one of those gems on campus that not a lot of people always know about. So if I have the opportunity to introduce someone to it or to bring someone else to this environment, then I'll gladly do it anytime.
The promotion of plant-based diet is part of the university's latest campaign for a sustainable future. If you missed today's free lunch, don't worry. Try one next week from noon to 1 at the Religious Center. Now, it looks amazing out there. The weather on the beach looks so beautiful, Daniel.
Beautiful. I haven't gotten the chance to go to the beach yet here in LA this year.
Me neither.
But this visual is really making me want to do that. There's not a lot of waves though, I have to say.
I know. I'm definitely not going to be surfing out there. But Marissa, how's the weather looking today?
Well, Daniel, you should definitely come out to the beach since you haven't gone out this week. It's been super nice lately. I'm starting to learn how to surf myself, and the waves haven't been that big, but perfect for me because I'm barely learning. So hey Trojans, it's officially October, and surprise, surprise, it's another hot week in Los Angeles. I know it's the week before midterms and the heat isn't ideal. Personally, I wish I could be in sweats all week, kicking my feet up, studying for exams, but we'll get through it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current conditions. So we're currently at 76 and still sunny. Let's look at the rest of the week. I think I'm going to sound like a broken record here. The conditions aren't changing much. We have sunny skies with the exception of Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, we're kicking off family weekend with a high of 79. Lucky us, the weather is giving us just a little break for our eventful weekend. Then Saturday for game day against Washington State, we're looking at a high of 84 and a low of 65. I would say that's pretty good game day weather. It's a little bit hot, but that's just fine. Good luck, Trojans, studying for midterms this week, and I hope you and your families have a great weekend. Now let's check out what's going on in sports.
The Trojans take the Windy City Classic. Caleb Williams sinks the Sun Devils. And Hufunga's heroics lead the 49ers over the Rams. All that and more coming up next on Sports.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Bianca Bueno.
And I'm Will Camardella. The USC football team returned to the practice field today ahead of its home game on Saturday against the Washington State Huskies, who have started their season 4-1. As the Trojans prepare for the Huskies, they will look to improve in protecting quarterback Caleb Williams. Williams made many impressive throws outside the pocket last weekend, which head coach Lincoln Riley praised him for this morning.
I mean, some of it was designed and taking advantage of that. We had a couple that obviously weren't designed that we got to do better. But I mean, that's the kind of player he is, you know. And that's great if the pocket's clean all day. That's fine. But I mean, in modern day college football, that doesn't happen very often. Doesn't happen in the pros much either. And that's why you're seeing, I think, an influx of guys that give you that ability.
Williams' ability to escape pressure has drawn the appreciation of his teammates, including tight end Malcolm Epps.
When we play rushing defense, it's like, oh, they'd be like, oh yeah, we got a rushing defense, we got a pass rushers. We have a Caleb Williams. It's like we're not. With him, it's like any play. We do scrimmage all the time because with him, he can escape anything. Like y'all said, like y'all saw, it was a couple play. I was like, damn, he got sacked. Oh, we're still running. It was one of those. So it's like, okay, just with him, you gotta keep going, or you might miss a play.
USC has gained an absolute unit in their newest commit, 4-star recruit offensive tackle Elijah Page. The 6'7", 305-pounder from Phoenix, Arizona announced the decision Monday night. Page said, quote, USC is a special place. What they're doing on the field speaks for itself, but the culture that they are building over there is second to none. I see the vision that Coach Riley has, and it's something I need to be a part of. The senior actually decommitted from Notre Dame in the end of September and chose the Trojans over UCLA, Michigan State, Arizona, and Ole Miss. I mean, this does not come as a surprise to me. Just him committing from Notre Dame, they're upset against Marshall, almost just losing to Cal, barely made it What do you think this means for the Trojans?
Well, it's been a difficult year for Notre Dame for sure, so it makes sense that he was looking for a change. But this is another feather in the cap for Lincoln Riley on the recruiting front. One of the biggest reasons why fans were so excited of him becoming the head coach is because he's going to dominate recruiting on the West Coast. This guy was a Arizona native. He brought him in. That's a very big win for USC.
No, I agree. It was a big recruiting weekend versus Arizona State. They had Mekhi Nelson, they had Zach Branch, top recruits already committed, and I'm sure that had some kind of influence on his decision.
By the way, I made a mistake earlier. They're playing the Washington State Cougars this week. Just wanted to get that on the record. But another thing to keep in mind with this big pickup, USC 2 years from now is going to be playing in the Big Ten, which means on a weekly basis, they're going to be facing off against defenses like Michigan, Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, teams with great defensive fronts. And in order to counter that, they're going to need guys on the offensive line who can move people in the running game and keep the quarterback upright in the passing game. Page can do both of these things.
Totally agreed. Page is a machine, and it's definitely an essential, and it's just only going to add to the number 12 recruiting class of 2023. Only going to be an asset for the Trojans next year.
It certainly will. The LA Rams lost a tough divisional matchup yesterday on Monday Night Football, falling to the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 24-9. Quarterback Matthew Stafford struggled to find his rhythm, averaging just over 5 yards per attempt while unable to find the end zone all night. Stafford was also sacked 7 times by the stout Niner defense. Perhaps the most significant play of the game came in the fourth quarter when second-year safety and former Trojan Talanoa Hufanga jumped and intercepted a screen pass for a 52-yard pick six that put the game away. 4 weeks in, Hufanga is the highest-graded safety in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. He spoke post-game about that play.
But we're just man coverage, locked up with the tight end, and then, they just been running screens all night. So, I just kind of saw a different release than I'm used to, and I just, instead of really going and following my man, I just turned my head and ball kind of dropped in my face. I ain't gonna lie. So, thought Stafford was gonna catch me. I ain't gonna lie. My 40 time doesn't help when it comes to that.
Now let's talk women's golf. USC brought the heat to the Windy City Collegiate as they captured their first team victory of the season with a blowout of 9 strokes. The 2-day event took place at Exmoor Country Club in Illinois. USC shot a combined 3 over for the 3 rounds, and number 6 South Carolina was the runner-up at 12 over. Sophomore Amari Avery added to the success and won her 4th career individual title. Their 5th-year head coach Justin Silverstein said, quote, "They worked very hard and very smart these past 3 weeks, and they deserve this victory." Catch the team back in action next week as they travel to Juno Beach, Florida for the Stevens Cup.
That'll wrap it up for sports today. Let's send it back to news.
Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, Will. USC Athletics honors a superhero who made the field of space and engineering accessible to kids. And students from SCA talk about why they are excited about the new Black Panther movie and why it's important.
Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles. Rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
The trailer for the Black Panther sequel, Wakanda Forever, was just released. The film heads to a theater near you on November 11th. USC fans of the first Black Panther film are wondering if the sequel will live up to the hype. The trailer does not reveal who will replace Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa. The Black Panther star died from colon cancer 2 years ago.
If I'm not mistaken, I think within the comic story of Black Panther, the role of the Black Panther can shift from person to person, so it's actually perfect that although we have the tragedy in real life about Chadwick Boseman, you know, the fact that this superhero can live on in other people.
It was really emotional, real beautiful. I'll say I was going to see it regardless if the trailer came out or not, but that definitely made me more excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm also excited about the soundtrack because the first one that like Kendrick Lamar produced was just A1. It was really good, so I'm excited for the music too. Yeah.
I think I'm most excited just to see like the representation of just like African Americans and Black people just continue, even though he passed away from the first movie.
Yeah, and like women specifically too. Like it feels like there's gonna be more of like a woman focus, which I feel like the first one already, that was kind of present already, but to see that amplified, I'm like really excited for that.
The film will feature a new villain named Namor and a new superhero, Riri Ironheart Williams. She will be played by Dominique Thorne.
At every home game, USC announces the hero of the game, someone who has accomplished amazing things off the field. This week's hero is Bob Barboza. He gets young people excited about outer space. Barboza was honored at the football game last weekend for his tremendous effort educating students about career paths in space and aviation. He's the founder of the Super Subs, a program that brings art and music to undeserved communities.
Well, you know, we're at a point in our political atmosphere in our country where we have to go outside of the box to kind of bring our country back together. So by going after recruiting middle and high school kids, that's a real good place to start because that gives us a chance. Because it's your generation that's going to turn this around.
He says it's important for students to focus more on math and science and prepare for exciting careers exploring the universe. Now, I think superheroes like Bob are so important to us at USC, especially for education. What do you think?
I think so too. I really like his vision, kind of, you know, uniting our generation, the middle schoolers and high schoolers, especially about, you know, going to outer space and science and math. I think that is something that is so prevalent, especially today. We're seeing all these advances in, you know, the aerospace industry with, you know, Elon Musk's SpaceX and whatnot. So I think he's doing a great job, and I think it's a great mission that he's doing.
Yeah, 100%. I think that encouraging young women to pursue STEM careers are also really important now, and people like Bob are inspiring for everybody.
Right. I like how he's just trying to unify America. He says that our generation is we're the next leaders, and I think that he's trying to connect us all through a common subject, which I think is just absolutely beautiful and a very creative way to go about that.
Super aspirational. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Tracy Wang.
And I'm Daniel Dano. For more coverage, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Good night.